Today is Wednesday, December 6th, 2017. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our recap of Survivor Season 35, Week 11, Episode 12.
This episode was titled, Not Going to Roll Over and Die.
Said by Chrissy. The other survivors was Christy.
Yep, definitely. I was looking at that while I was listening to the intro music, and I thought, I'm pretty sure Chrissy said that, but I got so caught up in watching this episode that I don't know for sure.
She did.
Even though I know you just said it, and I was sharing with you what I thought while I was listening to it just dawned on me that I had been so involved in watching this episode, which is just an amazing episode, that I didn't pay attention to the title. I didn't stop thinking about it.
Pretty early on.
Previously on Survivor, a beautiful gecko. That's how it started. I think that was a gecko.
If you say that.
And Ben is a double agent with the Core 4, and the others saw Ben as a threat. Ryan played his idol, but the Core 4 stayed together, stringing Ryan, Chrissy, and Mike along. Okay, back from Tribal, night 30, rat fight. The rules of rat fight are don't talk about rat fight.
Well, Ryan did his usual. Good job, guys.
Yep, Ryan tells us he was duped. He had no idea, and he's in an awful spot now. His only ally is Chrissy, and she has no power. They totally got one over on him. He wasted an idol. And
that had to hurt.
And when she's back again with questions, just like she was for Joe and the others when she got hoodwinked the first time. This time they're all directed at Ben, and Ben tells her calmly, my plan didn't align with yours, so I don't really have anything else to tell you. And then she unloaded.
She did, and he
knew she was emotional,
I know,
right?
But he was saying, don't mother me right now. She's like, I don't call my children jerks.
That's right. She had called Ben a jerk.
I don't know how I'm mothering you right now, but I had to agree.
That part didn't make sense.
With that. Yeah,
well, that looks like a classic example of a bad edit to me. Something was left out because there's no context for that. Either that or Ben got lost in the conversation. Sometimes that happens to all of us, but especially when you're worn out or all amped up, like I'm sure they were when they got back from that.
But Chrissy tells us just as soon as she gets a chance, she's going to get back at Ben.
Yeah. Oh, and that's when she gave the title, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Mike told us that, dang, he was blindsided again. And he's just going to have to try to get through this.
Yep.
He's still hanging on. He still thinks he's going to the end.
It's not like he has a choice.
And I'm starting to think he could get there.
Maybe, yeah.
He at least has a chance.
The light's not on him anymore, for sure.
He's got to be sitting back going, this is working out great for me.
No, he was not doing that. He was lamenting the fact that people keep lying to him.
But later on, because his name was not being tossed around.
But right now, it's just day 31. Time for an award/reward challenge, except this is a special one.
And Jeff lied. He said they're running in pairs with your loved ones.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Metaphorically, they were running in pairs. It's a stretch.
No running. There was no running.
It's a metaphor for how the challenge was going to go.
No running.
Okay, if you want to make it literal, you're correct.
Literal. Very literal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Jeff told us that this was a new challenge. It's compelling, right?
That's what he said.
Yep. So, okay, let's go through
I wouldn't call it compelling,
let's
but
go through
that's what he said.
It was at that point until we knew what it was.
Well, the only reason I was ended up being okay with it was just because they had more time to show the families together.
Yep. So, want to go through those?
Ashley's dad, Jim, came out. Devon's mom, Sonia. Lauren's sister, Sunny. Mike's wife, Mary, I believe they said. Ben's
No,
wife.
Barry.
Barry? Mm-hmm. Did you confirm that?
Multiple times. We even had a discussion about it while we were watching.
You didn't tell me. I said it sounded like Barry. But we thought it was Mary, so
Yep. You'll have to excuse us. We're a little out of sync tonight.
Okay. Ben's wife, Kelly, Chrissy's husband, Keith, and Ryan's dad, Steve.
And Barry tells us this is the only selfish thing Dr. Mike has ever done. And Sonny got a hug from Probst before she went over and ribbed her sister a little bit about losing weight. Good on her. She got a hug from Probst.
Hey, she was really the fan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now
Lauren wasn't the fan.
You got the complete backstory on Lauren.
Well, we'd heard that before, but that it was really her sister that wanted to be on the show. She just went to go with her, and they chose her.
I thought it was funny that Keith, Chrissy's husband, didn't actually speak. He didn't, with what we got to see, he never had an opportunity to get a word in there.
Well, I'm sure we didn't get to hear everything, but surely she asked about the kids or something.
So the exhilarating details for this challenge is draw marbles out of a bag.
Alrighty then.
Well, I guess if you got to come up with a challenge that any loved one can probably manage.
It had a little intensity.
Good. Yeah, there's some drama, I guess.
Oh, who's in?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I don't know if I'd really call it a challenge.
It's just match game. Yeah. And it's random pulls.
Yeah.
So.
Like I said, they got it over with quickly, and it didn't take away too much time from their time with the family. So
the loved ones reach into their respective bags. They each get separate bags, and they pull out a matching black and or white marble there. Then they get to stay in the game. Otherwise, they're immediately out.
Everybody's out but Ben and Chrissy.
Yep.
And their spouses, of course.
Yeah, Kelly and Keith. And then Ben has a no match, but Chrissy matches. And now it's time for...
Payback.
Chrissy's revenge. Yes. So, yeah, she gets to bring a friend. So she immediately chooses Ryan and his dad, Steve. And then Probst said, okay, choose one more. And it's Dr. Mike and his wife, Barry. And then just one more. And she chooses Ashley and her dad, Jim. And Probst notes that there was no hesitation. Like an assassin, she made her picks in selecting people. And then Chrissy tells us in a confessional that Ben picked the wrong time to fight with her.
I'm going to make sure he regrets ever crossing me.
Yep, get her revenge and make him regret.
Well, I'm sure he did too, so.
He seemed to manage it pretty well. So
he did, but you know it hurt.
Sure, yep. Just 8 more days, he said, so, and it's all over.
Yeah.
One way or another. He'll see her again.
That's right, so.
Okay, they're at the barbecue there on day 31 for those folks. And Dr. Mike tells his wife, Barry, that he's eaten lots of ants. Hundreds of them at this point. As she pointed out, he had ants on his plate. And Chrissy tells Keith...
You have no idea. We've been doing that forever.
Chrissy you get a different set of values when you're outside like that.
Yep.
And you're hungry. Chrissy tells her husband, Keith, that she's going to align with Dr. Mike. She hadn't yet, but now she needs to. I think this is a great example of a big weakness in Chrissy's game. And she tells us that she chose Ashley because she believes that she's the easiest to break. Interesting choice of words. She's going to break her.
Well, maybe she meant to break her alliance.
I think she was pretty clear what she meant there.
Yeah.
Chrissy tells Ashley, you're playing with powerhouses. It's time to take out Ben. And once again, Ashley notes, given that she, by her own admission, only started playing the game a few days ago on day 28, that she doesn't have anything on her resume noteworthy.
And that's a possibility.
This could be the big move that she's looking for. Of course, she had already thought of this before. It's not like... She tells us she's listening to Chrissy and tolerating what she has to say, but certainly Ashley's thought of this before. This came up.
Yeah, it would be a bad game move not to listen. Shouldn't close the doors. Chrissy closed some doors, I think, but she shouldn't.
Actually, she chooses never to open some of them.
Well, that's true too. I think that's the case with Mike.
That's what had happened there.
Not true anymore.
Cut to Ben. What's Ben up to?
Making a fake idol.
Yes.
And the next on last week really misled me.
Yeah, let's just do a quick aside. Who did you have going?
Devon, of course.
Because
Because they said last weekend he was giving him the fake idol, and
Well, they didn't say he was giving him the fake idol, though. That was in Joanne's head.
That was in my head. That, he's going to give him the fake idol. That means that he's going to go after him, blah, blah, blah. Had this whole scenario. Mm-hmm. Now, it was true that he did overhear them and kind of suspected they were going after him and pursued that. But he wasn't giving him the fake idol. So
no, he was just sharing with him what he had created.
I like my story better.
I bet you did. Yep, so he shares the fake idol with Devon and Lauren tells us he's making it personal. Ben's actually just doing this to get back at Chrissy.
And Lauren has a big problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
Did that surprise you a little bit that she was against Ben, or do you think she's just looking for reasons
just
to
like
justify
anyone else in the game? Any little thing is cause that you can just pin your decision on. So no, I didn't put a lot into that from that perspective. It provided what she needed to help justify her decision.
Yeah, it kind of surprised me a little bit, though.
Because she had already been thinking about turning on him and knew that it needed to be done soon. So
yeah.
This is a great example of a story you could tell him for why you made the choice you made. You
would think she would know, too, that she's got the next biggest target on her back, being the single mom. Ben's got a good story, but so did Lauren. She might have been feeling the pressure, and they're all three out looking for the idol that they expected to be re-hidden after Ryan wasted his. Well, and that answered that. And Dr. Mike had wasted his before. Yeah. Yep, sure enough. So she ends up seeing the clue. She tells Ben, hey, you walked right by it. And then flips it over, and she discovers that it's a 2-part hidden immunity idol. She's got the first part, which is the leather necklace component, and then the second half that'll make the full-powered hidden immunity idol will be there at the challenge, and she has to get it in front of everyone, and it's going to be a shell. Though that was kind of easy. I didn't realize it was just the shell. I thought it would be something more obvious, but it just looked like she picked up a shell from somewhere. Yeah, and to that point, too, we didn't comment it on the time, but Ben's fake immunity idol looked really good in comparison to the real one that he had. Yeah. So he did an excellent job on that. Yes, he did. I thought maybe when they were heading out to go look that Lauren even had a paintbrush in her hand. I wonder if they were going to paint a fake clue for Chrissy to find. That would be good. I don't know if it was just a stick she had so she could poke around in holes while she was looking for the idol, but she had a little piece of wood in her hand when she had it out. And I thought, that looks like a paintbrush. I wonder if that's from when they did the flag, because they may still have some viable paint and paintbrushes from the merge flag. Okay, so we go to the immunity challenge. Community challenge, day 33. We just skipped over day 32 in this 3-day cycle. Chrissy does not help Jeff take off her necklace. Nope, and the camera flashes on the shell that's right there in the ground in front of the station that Lauren's going to do the challenge at. Yeah, that worked out great because, of course, they knew where to put it because they had to design the stations for each person's height and arm length to make it fair. Span. Yep, it's an endurance challenge. We've seen this one before. You got 2 wooden discs that you have to use the pressure from your arms pushing out parallel to the ground, pushing against 2 other discs, and that wears on you pretty quick. And as soon as you drop either of the discs, you're out. So it's about maintaining pressure and a certain degree of friction that you take advantage of between the 2 discs, hoping that you can keep them up there as long as possible. Probst tells us from the drop that this one's gonna hurt, and several people call out and say it already hurts. Yeah, right from the beginning. They hadn't even started yet, really. Ryan and Ashley. Well, they had because they were having to hold it up there. So 15 minutes in, Probst announces that this is the hottest day of their time in Fiji for this season of Survivor. So we'll get in their heads a little bit with the heat. I was surprised everybody made it to 15 minutes. Yeah, me too. Ben and Ryan are struggling, though. They're already working to reposition and do complete multiple saves as those discs slide around. But Ben ends up going out first, and then not too long after that, Chrissy follows. Ryan's out third, and you're left with Devon, Ashley, Mike, and Lauren. And Lauren quit, so
she quit, and Probst called her on it. Yeah, it really, because she just grabbed her plates. She didn't let them fall. So there's no illusion that she was done. She just made a choice. She
grabbed them with her hand instead of, them slipping.
She uses the cover story saying her shoulders are just done, and she sits down and puts her foot by the shell and then picks it up out of the ground and just sits it on her leg like, hey, I found a shell. So I think she managed all this really well. I'm sure she was proud of herself. She just didn't have the opportunity to celebrate like she did when she had the double vote advantage.
All right, and after Lauren, Mike goes out. Devon drops for a massage from Ashley.
Yeah, declaring the power of their duo, their alliance.
Yeah, we have a tight alliance, Jeff. Everybody knows it. I thought, but again, it's always very arrogant, I think, to flaunt it.
Lauren casually pockets the shell as they're heading out. She tells us in a confessional, easy peasy, it's either Chrissy, Ryan, or Mike. One of those three are on the way out.
That's when I said,
never that simple. Yeah.
I like it when they say things like that, because it's usually never that easy.
And who did you have to go again? Sorry.
Devon.
Yes.
Your USB.
Yes, you did.
Who did you have?
I had Chrissy. I thought it was Chrissy's time. And I still had hope for that. This part where Lauren said that sounded good. 1 out of 3. Those some good odds. It was looking promising at this point.
Yeah, well, I gave up on getting a point at that point.
Pretty early. Actually, even before that, you bailed.
Oh, yeah. I was like, well, yeah, I'm losing a point because...
As soon as you saw that Ben wasn't tricking Devon with the fake immunity necklace, you're like, uh-oh, this is not going well.
20 minutes before the deadline today, I went back in. I had Ashley safe. But I went back and changed it. I struggled with it because... I thought if they do vote Chrissy out tonight, then I won't have enough safe points for Ashley the rest of the game if I used her tonight, because I only have 2 more left on her, and I need to use 2 more. So I went back, and I thought, well, I'll lose a point eventually anyway, but if Chrissy goes home tonight or whether I lose it later on because I don't have enough for Ashley. So I just went ahead and put Chrissy safe just in case it didn't go down that way. Devon did go home, and I would still have then enough safe points for everybody but Dr. Mike.
Ashley tells us again that she needs to beef up her resume, so she needs to think about getting rid of Ben. So when Lauren and Ashley and Devon head out to the well to fill up canteens, they have that discussion, and it looks like Lauren's up for it too.
Big mistake.
Devon's not on board completely, though. He said Chrissy's the threat to win immunity before Ben, and so he was actually trying to say that they should go after Chrissy. And it turns out that Ben had followed them to the well, and he can tell that they're whispering over there. And when he walks up, they really goofed it.
Number one, he heard his name, and then they stopped talking. That's always a bad sign on Survivor.
Yeah, they wouldn't say anything when he walked up.
It's kind of like,
which means you're not part of the conversation we're having, which is pretty shifty, given this is your alliance. So, yeah, that didn't bode well. Ben tells us that he's going to have to get busy. Something ain't right. Definitely ain't right anymore. These are not the people that I'm going to the end with. Something has changed.
Well, he doesn't sit on it either because he didn't have time. So.
Right. He reaches out to Dr. Mike, and he says, hey, if you're interested in making a power move, I want to work with you. Here's what I got. Lauren found an idol. It's in 2 parts.
Everybody's telling everything.
Nope. You got that last part wrong.
Except for Ben. He's not telling everything.
Critical difference. Like a head and shoulders apart difference right there. Yep. So he shares and then Mike already knew about the vote advantage because they had told him him that in the previous episode. So Mike tells us, hey, wait a second. Things are looking good again. I'm back on top. This is going to work. So Ben then reaches out to Ryan. Now, Ben is the communication piece here. This is what's important when you're making a move like this, that you're not dependent on someone to carry your message. You're carrying it. So he goes to Mike, and then he goes to Ryan. He says, hey, we can work together if you're interested in making a big move. Yeah, Ryan's interested. He's not really got anything else going on.
It's like, what other option do I have?
And Ryan as playing the, as long as it's not me, I'm great with whatever you have to offer, which is sometimes that's your best possible move. It certainly has worked to win someone twice.
Anyone.
Yep. And Ben tells Ryan, we need to get rid of Lauren. She's got this idol. She's got the vote advantage. That's too much power.
Well, and Chrissy was talking about voting Ben out with Devon when Ben walked up and interrupted them.
Yep.
And he approaches her then, but she's still so angry.
Yes. She's...
I mean, I don't blame her, but still, you got to keep your options open. Be angry, but kind of dial it back.
Process it.
Process
She's holding on to it. That's the problem.
Dangerous part.
Yeah, she's like days down the road, still holding on to it. She's all about her revenge. She hadn't gotten enough just by making sure he didn't get a family visit. So she doesn't even want to talk to him. He tries to talk to her when she's sitting there playing checkers, which, by the way, that was a cool checkerboard that they had made up in the pieces. There's always extra things you can do with the paint. And they had made, I think that was, pretty sure it was checkers they were playing. But she's not wanting to listen.
Well, and then when they have their conversation out in the
finally
woods,
gets her to pull away so they can have a private conversation. He started off good, apologizing.
Well, and telling her about Lauren's idol, I think that gave her a little bit more faith that he was giving her true information. But I thought
after
she was
she had
sold
told him
on
he
it.
was a total sham.
I thought she still sold it. But then she turned around and went to Dr. Mike and said, I still want to get Ben out.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, dang, I thought she was on board. She convinced me she was on board. So.
Yeah, she can't trust him. She's been let down twice in a row. So Mike reaches out to try to make this happen to Chrissy.
Here's another domino that falls. Oh, Chrissy's not with us. Plan B. Turn around and go back. Tell Devon and Ashley, give them the information.
Yep.
That Ben's trying to vote out Lauren and has already told him
shared
about
that she has an idol now in addition to the advantage. Now, this next part stunned me. What did you think when Lauren gave the shell to Dr. Mike?
I thought that was a stupid move. I understood she was trying to gain his trust so he would vote with them. But really? You'd have been better off giving him the advantage. Than giving him your idol. Mike
tells us that he agrees with Joanne. That was indeed a stupid move, he says. And he's trying to make up his mind. Is he going to make her pay for that or not?
Yeah, well, we skipped over kind of the part where Devon told Lauren. But he ran right to Lauren. He didn't consider it at all, not voting with them. So
I made in my notes, I wrote, wow, so many twists. I was loving all these turns and double backs and double crosses and changes of plans. These are some of the most, this is one of the most exciting episodes in Survivor history, I think.
I mean, I only got 3 points and I could care less. I had so much fun going, oh, geez, so now I don't know what's happening, and I still don't know what's happening.
As we're headed into tribal council, Ben was trying to get numbers so he wouldn't have to use his idol. So we're all wondering, okay, is he gonna end up playing the idol? How's this all gonna go down? And it gets off to a pretty clear start.
For me, it felt like a barrel rolling. It just, every time I'd think it had stopped, it would roll a little bit further, and it would roll, and it would roll, and things shifted and changed and just kept rolling downhill until I thought, I don't know what's going to happen.
If there were like 4 or 5 barrels rolling in different vectors, then that's what it was like for me. Yeah, it was interesting to watch all that build. I loved this. It was a great edit, and it was very exciting, and I wasn't clear what was going to happen at all as we headed into tribal council.
Well, you knew one thing for certain. Jeff was going to bring up that Devon gave up immunity to Ashley for a massage.
But Devon's got an answer. He raises his hand and says, Jeff, pick me. I want to comment. This was me demonstrating my trust in Ashley and Lauren. And Ben got the clue that he needed because he responded, well,
not that he didn't know already.
I thought I was part of that. But this has been demonstrating, much like what Joe did, but not in an aggravating way. This is how you draw fire. He was putting on a little seminar there for Dr. Mike so that he could see how it was actually done in real life.
Acting.
Yeah. So he gets them fired up. And, of course, that triggers Lauren. So she wants to know, what part of the game was it telling my secrets? And he had an answer. That was a bad question to ask. He said, that's my game. That was my game. Because they had turned on him. And the folks acting... I hope if I were to ever to be blessed enough to end up on the show and then end up in a circumstance like this, I could remember and sort things out and go, good on them. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I'm not going to be indignant about this. I'm just going to say, okay, if they're going to get me out, I got to go try to get them out first.
Well, but
instead of getting personal.
Why were they so indignant when they were been talking about getting rid of him for 2 episodes now?
Yeah. And they gave him reason to worry,
and
for
yet
sure.
They were kind of indignant about it.
That was my point.
Not only did Devon show his hand to Ben, what does he think he was showing Mike? Why are they still showing Mike, we're Final 3. Come with us and you can be Final 4.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who's playing to be Final 4?
Ben's not hiding it, though. He tells her straight up, I was gunning for you.
I admit it.
And she said, well, I hope you brought ammo or something like that. And I was just thinking, oh, he's locked and loaded. You got no idea what you're walking into.
Yeah, they were so confident that Ben would have told them, after all the acting he's done, how he play acted for Ryan and Chrissy, all of that. They watched all of that. That's why they mistrusted him.
Still couldn't tell the difference.
And yet they still 100% believed he did not have an idol.
They were believing in their own narrative.
Yep.
That's
what really got me.
And I think Lauren was feeling some of this because she goofed pretty bad. She stumbled here. And
she did.
When she was asked about the advantage, she said, well, I ripped it up. And then she said, oh, no, it's back at camp.
It's back at camp.
So which is it?
You can have it. It's back at camp. And why would you not bring it? Why? She could have needed that or could have used it with the vote. I think they were so confident they didn't need it.
I'll jump ahead a little bit and say that the answer to your question is in her words at the end.
Quit poking me. What was her words? Go ahead, give it up.
We'll get there. We're working towards it. We're bearing down on it. But first, we got to talk
right in the forehead.
We got to talk about what Dr. Mike does here.
Oh man, I loved it. Actually,
it was good.
It was great.
It was classic.
But I'm thinking about Lauren sitting there watching.
It was a total facepalm for her. Yeah, Dr. Mike gets up, takes a shell out of his pocket.
I have been waiting 15 years to do this.
Hucks it into the fire. So no more immunity idol for Lauren.
Nobody's playing this idol.
Probst seemed to mistakenly think that they had all decided that was the right thing to do, or that discussion happened.
Think he was just poking,
and he was told that, and we didn't get to see it because something's off in that. Because the reality to us looked like Dr. Mike on impulse chucked the thing in the fire.
Well, but why wouldn't he? Because she's not going to give him the rest of it, but it could put him in a bad position, giving it back and then have her use it on him if they did take him to, further in. So I thought it was brilliant because now she couldn't use him against it, even if he didn't think she was going home, and she might be able to use it against him. So he eliminated that possibility and level the playing field once again a bit.
Ben went meta on us in this episode. He even went beyond the fourth wall, and he said, he was talking to us. He said, the folks at home are going to be saying, you need to keep these things secret.
Yep.
Otherwise, this is what can happen.
And you said, he's talking to us.
Yeah.
He's talking to us.
Because we all know that he has one, and he kept the secret. Yeah. Devon's not having it. He tells Ben, no one trusts you. And at this point, tribal council starts to blow up. As Chrissy later describes it, it is a live tribal council. So while part of this discussion's going on in the left half of the tribal council, over on the right half where Ryan on the back row and Dr. Mike in the front row are sitting in the far right, they're having a discussion. We're still going to vote Lauren, right? Is what Ryan's telling Mike.
And while Ben and Ashley are having words, and everybody's having words with their own individual words with other people, nobody's privy to all the conversations. And then it just goes full-blown, get up and go, talk to whoever you want to.
Devon gets up and goes over, and you can see there's a look of surprise on Prop's face. He's been through this enough now that he's got the expressions down
for
us.
I have lost control again.
Yep.
Wonderful. I'll just let them do their thing.
Devon goes over to Dr. Mike and says, look, we got to take this opportunity to get rid of Ben. Chrissy said she wasn't having any of that. Nope, that's not the right thing to do. Need to get rid of Lauren. We know Chrissy's got a thing about getting rid of the women players, so it seemed like she was dead set on that.
Not only that, Lauren is a huge threat, too. Mm-hmm. And she already told him she didn't have the advantage with her, and she wasn't playing it. She can't play an idol. That's as safe as you could get to pop somebody, but Mike wouldn't do it.
Made sense.
It did to me, but...
Well, Mike was on board for that at one point. I think Devon got him flipped back around.
Well, then Mike talked to Ashley, too, with Ryan. And so, anyway, they all had their conversations. I'm sure there was probably a lot more and a lot more said than we got to see, because it probably went on a while.
So we thought there was a lot going on before Tribal. Now at Tribal, it's all it's in spin mode.
Now that was chaos, Jeff.
Yeah, there's a chaotic tribal council for sure. Good point.
And he didn't even use that word in this one.
No, he wasted it already on the one that didn't seem that way.
So
I wasn't even sure if he was going to play it. They paced it out.
No,
really well.
He was going to play it. He had to play it.
I wanted him to. But they drew it out long enough that it gave me just a little bit of doubt.
Nah, I never had any.
Not you. No doubt for Joanne.
No.
All right. So Ben plays his hidden immunity idol and tells the story about how he found it and the fake one. Did you believe his story that he chose not to do that to hurt Chrissy, to make it personal? He had retracted
he's playing
it.
The game.
Lauren didn't look like she was buying it. Oh.
No, she wasn't.
Yeah.
And even Chrissy probably didn't buy it either, because he'd say whatever he needed.
Well, bottom line, he didn't do it. And he had it right there.
And bottom line is, hopefully he was trying to win votes for the future, because he knew he wasn't going home. Everyone else thought he could go home, but he never thought he was going home. He knew better.
Time to read the votes. Ben plays his idol. No votes for Ben will count, and we get a 6 count.
I love that.
Does not count.
Yeah, he did every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Rightly so.
And read Lauren last, but she already knew. Ben had already said, I'm putting her name down.
Yep, so Ben single-handedly took out Lauren when the rest of his tribe chose not to participate and take advantage of that opportunity. So they left him hanging in that regard.
Were you surprised that they all 6 voted for Ben?
I was. They had been playing so safe and splitting votes and doing all this. I think Devon really messed them up. Just from what, the little bit that we got in the sequence of events is when Devon started campaigning just to take Ben out. When we had already heard several people say, no, we need to take out Lauren, I think somehow Devon was able to marshal them to get them going in that direction. It's certainly a question for Lauren in terms of how did they end up settling on Ben unanimously.
Well, Chrissy was adamant with Mike and Ryan about voting out Lauren, and that she wasn't going to vote Ben. But I think they probably decided that they weren't going to go with what Mike wants to do, because they're hoping he'll stay with them afterwards, that they'll at least have 3-3 and possibly, not be on the bottom. So I think they just went along with the majority for that reason, to kind of get Mike to trust them or something.
Joe quips from the jury that you keep Ben and that's what you get. And Probst tells us it was the one real secret that had all the power in tonight's tribal council.
So true. Excellent job, Ben. Excellent.
Magnificent.
I don't know what he does now.
No. Well, he lived to play another day, and that was absolutely needed, as we see in the votes.
Let's see. There should be another idol put out, because they can play at the final 5.
Yep.
They're still at 6.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure he'll be looking.
Yeah,
but the fake idols probably won't work again. So
depends on how good they are.
Bye-bye, Lauren. You played a good game in a lot of ways.
So this is in her own words, this isn't me disparaging her, she said at the end in her last words that she was a dum-dum.
Yep, classic blindside. My dum-dum self gave Mike half of my idol. And you didn't play your
I liked what you added here.
I said I wondered if did she drop out of the immunity challenge.
Even before you said that. That was number 3. Before you said that, you said her advantage. If she had, what would have happened if she had played her advantage?
Yeah.
And taken
Ben's vote. What would have happened?
Yeah, so.
We don't know.
Right.
But I did think of that. Well, what would have happened if she had played it and said, your vote doesn't count?
Dalton Ross does a thing every week for Entertainment Weekly that he gets to ask Probst a couple of questions. So I'm hoping that'll be a part of it.
I can imagine it wouldn't be. Come on, Dalton.
Yeah.
Want to hear what you got to say?
Well, we want to hear the answer from Probst one way or another. If Dalton doesn't, then certainly let's hit him up on Twitter and see if we can't get an answer.
All right. I don't tweet, so go for it, baby.
I'll take care of it, yeah.
I don't know how to tweet. I'm not into a lot of stuff.
Just stunning. Absolutely
Loved
stunning.
it.
Sorry, and then your third one was it looked like she had thrown the challenge. So she might possibly could have saved herself 3 different ways, and she goofed them all up. At a minimum, there were 2 ways that she could have potentially saved herself, and she goofed them both.
I'm gathering, we'll ask her tomorrow, that she thought using the advantage would put a bigger target on her back or something.
She wanted to save it. I think she was probably just confused. I've thought for a long time that she had been playing at her capacity for a while. It was awesome to see her win that immunity challenge, and then she got to be part of this power alliance. So it was neat to see her story arc in the season.
Yeah, she won the individual reward challenge too.
How it peaked like that. So I just never saw her as a significant strategist or player, and certainly, well, at a minimum, she fumbled just in a phenomenal fashion.
Yeah, I think she probably knows that.
in her exit. So. Yeah, I'm curious what her sister Sonny had to say to her about what happened.
Well, if nothing
tonight.
else, she got that wonderful experience for Sonny to go out there. And she got fairly deep in the game, so she made some bucks. And I really think she did well in that I really never expected her to make the merge.
Yeah, most all of us thought that she would be first out from her tribe. So, yeah, she made it way beyond the limits of what we thought were possible for her. And she confirmed that she wasn't really a fan, that it was her sister that she was doing all that for. Yeah,
it wasn't that I was thrilled to see Lauren go. It was just an awesome tribal council,
amazing.
From a fan point of view.
So here's our question, right? We haven't got to the listener feedback pitch yet, but is this the bar none dumbest move in Survivor history now?
Oh,
so you got Reichenbach, who gets duped by the sirens, right? Those vixens that tricked him out of his immunity necklace.
I thought that was right up there with Eric.
This is beyond
you
that.
Said, no.
I said this is beyond it.
Yep.
I think this trumps it completely because they did that to him. Now he was susceptible to it and he did take the action, but she did this to herself, and she did it to herself not one way, but at least 2 ways.
No, honey, Eric did that to himself.
And likely 3.
He bought their story.
Yes, but
she bought Ben's story.
He was seduced into doing that. She wasn't. Well, she made this choice on her own. So here's my pitch. Joanne says it's like on par. I think it's above. I think it's beyond the JT letter and heroes versus villains. I think it's beyond the Reichenbach. I think she reached new heights in using her own words. The dum-dum move, right? This is Survivor history that we got to see tonight, and Lauren really knocked it out of the park there with the dumbest move of all time.
I still think it was just on par.
Got it.
James going home with 2 idols in his pocket and
beyond it.
Things like that.
Beyond.
Okay,
like over the green monster beyond.
On Survivor.
Next time on Survivor.
Everybody's after Ben. Imagine that. Ashley tells him that everybody wants you out before Final 3. But is she willing to work with him to Final Four? That she doesn't say. And
Chrissy's got a plan for Ashley, though, the only other woman left in the game. Yep, Probst tells us that Ben's old ally, Chrissy, wants the other woman out. She wants Ashley to go. So this is probable, but it smacks of a red herring.
Could be.
I think Ben's got a better chance of saving himself by finding another idol, and if he does that, good grief. You should just go ahead and give it to him. Man, yeah, that would be something. So I'm stoked.
You know he'll look.
I'm excited to see how this goes down. If somehow that she finds it in her heart to forgive him all the wrongs he's done to her in being a jerk in this awful game and deceiving her in this upright, righteous game of Survivor that she's playing.
Well, my thought when she was talking to Mike about Ashley was, does Ben win immunity?
Could be.
Could win immunity, too.
I hadn't seen any evidence of the possibility of that.
No, but it's possible.
You wouldn't rule it out.
I wouldn't rule it out.
As Chrissy would tell you, it's unlikely.
Yeah.
Given the numbers.
Well, I thought it was an awesome episode. Enjoyed it immensely.
How many times have we rewatched
3 points.
Tribal Council?
Don't care at all. Oh, we've already watched it 4 times.
4 times. I'm sure there's more to come.
Sitting there and watching it again and again and again and again.
Just seeing new things each time. Oh, man.
Which
what
is
an
a
episode.
little obsessive, I would say. But okay,
that's our favorite show.
It was fun.
And this is one of the best episodes.
And I'm not sure we're done tonight.
The build-up, I think, Joe was right. He said in the interview, this season's not done. It's going to keep going and keep getting better. Man.
I'm not sure they're not going to flip-flop their way all the way to the end.
This crew seems like they're a group that could do that.
They are fighting so hard.
Yeah.
They will. I think they're grasping at any.
Realign. Yep. Figure it out. Figure it out. Let's get further.
What's my best move? What's my best move? What's my best move?
I gotta say I'm worried for my boy Devon though. I haven't been worried since the merge.
Now that was silly.
Says the woman who stuck with Ryan. But I'm definitely.
I don't regret that.
I'm definitely concerned for his future. He got a little braggy. And he's been talking about, obviously, like we mentioned in several people went over in the listener feedback show last week about how brilliant he's playing. So I'm hoping the humble pie that Ben shared with all of them is going to get him back on track so that he doesn't blow his chances here.
Well, I had said earlier today, I thought Lauren was the only person that had a chance to beat Ben, and Ben was the only person that probably had a chance to beat Lauren.
Yeah, given what we know about the game, sure.
The others should get both of them out and fight it out amongst themselves.
Yeah.
Because those two, I think, were most likely to be winners.
Now, we're privileged to have this all knowledge here, minus what we don't get from the edit, and we get to see all these things. But you can see that Ben's playing on a level that's beyond everyone else. He's like several levels above.
How are we privileged to get to see that?
We weren't in the game. We weren't limited by being a castaway.
I wasn't sure what you meant by that, where you went with that. Okay, yeah. And I don't know
we have a semi-omniscient view of the game.
Who, if they voted Ben out next, who would you would still want Devon to win.
If he can get it back on track, yeah. He strayed from the path. He went down the bragging road for a while
Ashley
now. He lost sight of it.
I don't know. I don't necessarily want Christy either.
Chrissy.
Okay, but I don't know. I'm liking Dr. Mike better again, just because.
I like that he threw the idol away, but Dr. Mike is...
He's all over the... I don't know.
His story is bumbling Dr. Mike at this point. He has trouble getting out of his own way. Nobody trusts him. He's never told. He hasn't. He doesn't get to vote the right way. He doesn't know what's going on.
But you know what I really like about him is he doesn't give up, and he still thinks he's still. I got a chance. I'm feeling good again.
You just described everyone who's still in the game.
I know.
There's nothing unique about that to Dr. Mike.
I think there is. I think he's just.
Now, you could say he's unique in the way he approaches life and makes his choices and
he gets
shares
so
his experiences.
That he's,
yeah.
I don't think I'm out anymore. I'm not depressed now. I'm back in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like it.
I think that the group that's left here with Ashley, Ben, Chrissy, Devon, Mike, and Ryan, they're all pliable. They're all willing to form and reform. If Ben and Chrissy can get their emotions out of it, right? If they can sort those out, and Mike and Ryan they can't afford to be emotional.
No, they can't. Ryan is well aware
Ryan's
of that.
been talking about how he's having to manage all that, and so I would say Ryan's doing a lot better than Dr. Mike in that regard.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of
Absolutely.
managing what's going on and looking for staying open for the opportunity. When you got nothing else, you need to do that.
I think he got humbled
multiple times now.
Yes. And so he's like, oh. So some of his ego went out the window with that. Chrissy still seems to have a little.
Ryan's enough of a fan. I know Chrissy's a fan too, but Ryan's enough of a fan, and he can appreciate the moves that Ben's making. Chrissy resents the moves that Ben's making, and she made them personal.
Well, both Chrissy and Ben,
I'm not sure
like
Ashley
to get a little revenge.
Ashley or Devon quite know a lot about what's going on. They've just been figuring out as they go, and then they got a little full of themselves.
Yeah, but they have played. I don't know if Ashley's played as well as Devon, but I think Devon's the better player over him and Ashley.
Ashley doesn't quite know where the field is. She shows up.
But at least they've shown us now that all of these people are really playing and playing as hard as they can.
Yes, I think they're playing.
And I don't love that.
I don't know that Ben's hit his limit yet, but I think the others are playing to their limits for sure.
Oh, no. Yeah, we'll just have to see. I'm good. I mean, everybody would like to cheer for Ben, I think, or the majority.
Yeah.
But if he gets voted out, then I don't know.
You think it'll be an anticlimax on the season?
I don't know. Like I said, they've all fought really hard, and there's a lot of fans that are still left in the game, and I like that. They're playing hard. They're playing as fans. They're aware of what's going on, and I do enjoy that.
Absolutely. Definitely. This seems to keep getting better and better. How about a JSFL update?
I can do that. There are 9 people who lost their USB tonight. 216 people, including us, lost safe points.
Yep.
Congratulations on the 5 people who gained a vote-off point.
There you go. That's how hard that one was to see coming.
Noom is in first place with 53 points. As far as the side challenge goes, Parker is still in the lead with 47. With 46, Nina. 45, Jeremiah and Rick. 44, you have Brandon, Cold, Mike, Drew, Jody, and Jonathan. 43, Kitty Cat. 42, Stacy. 41, James and Shannon. And with 39, Iron Dave.
All right. Good job, Dave. Holding down that foundation. We all appreciate your hard work.
You are so mean.
That's not mean.
No, it's not.
Well, we're excited to hear what you thought about this episode, and if you think that Lauren's move is the dumbest in all of Survivor history. So that's definitely one of the listener feedback questions this week that we'll be looking for answers on, and your take on why or why not in that regard. The voicemail number is 206-350-1547. The toll-free version is 844-643-8737. The email, joanneandstacyshow@gmail.com. Please keep your feedback in that 3-minute range. People have been creeping up beyond that limit, and we need to keep it in that range to make it possible to get everybody included. Whether you're writing it up, recording it yourself, or calling the voicemail line, please be cognizant of that. And we look forward to hearing what you had to say about this episode and your predictions for the next. Anything else you want to add?
I don't believe so. I'm still riding the high.
Yeah, excited. All right, so let's go work on some questions for Lauren, and then I'll get this episode out for everybody.
All right. We'll see you back here on Saturday.
Actually, tomorrow we'll have the interview with Lauren, and then we'll do the listener feedback show on Saturday. Yep, feedback due noon Pacific time. Have a good one.